When I was 10, my parents bought a video camera, and knowing my interest in film, they encouraged me to play with it and perhaps make a movie or two. Naturally, I did what every aspiring filmmaker my age would have done. I shot a fan film for a movie series I loved, casting my friends in the iconic parts of that franchise. So it's not that I don't understand the compulsion to remake a favorite movie or to make a sequel to a favorite film. And I'm hardly alone in that urge. When he was 14, Len Wiseman apparently shot a backyard version of Die Hard. The thing is, that kind of fan fiction has a time and a place. When you're 10, it's no big deal to invest your time in writing or shooting your own James Bond or Star Wars sequel. But if you're trying to break into the business, writing a sequel or remake really isn't the way to go about it. When you write a screenplay, presumably you want to sell it. And logically that means you want to have as many potential buyers as possible. For example, an action comedy with original characters is a sort of script you can take to any producer in any studio in town. But what if you want to write the next Star Trek movie? How many potential buyers do you have in that case? One. The studio that owns the rights to the series. And in this case, that'd be Paramount. So what happens if Paramount doesn't like your script? You're screwed. If you don't hold the rights to what you're writing about, don't bother. Amazingly, I've seen many wannabe writers ignore that advice over the years. Possibly the most misguided violation of this rule I saw was a script that was an attempt to continue a 30-year-old action franchise by crossing it over with another 40-year-old film. It would have been difficult enough to do a sequel to just one of those movies, but with a crossover, this writer was putting himself in a situation where he couldn't make a sale unless two completely different sets of producers and rights holders signed off on the concept. And let's be realistic. With franchise films, the studio is never going to buy the latest sequel as a spec. The tentpoles already have specific producers attached, and they'll have considerable say in hiring the writer. And again, there's still only one guy you can take that script to. As a writer, the franchise film isn't something you can go after until you're inside the club. It's like writing for your school paper and then expecting to get hired as the main political writer at the New York Times. It just doesn't happen. So consider all of that before you invest 6 months of your life writing a live-action adaptation of the 80s cartoon Jem and the Holograms, or GoBots, or whatever. In the end, you're going to need your own idea and your own characters in order to break into this business. If you got questions, leave them for me in comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you back here in 1 week.